Hi everyone. So I just wanted to share with you that I had a really nice birthday yesterday. It was finally a birthday that was about me, not about my mother, not about my sister, not about my brother. The ladies at the church, I told them after the rosary I'm going home, I have training to do, and they said, no, let's go out, let's have a coffee together. And it was raining. I said to them, no, it's raining, I don't want to go out. We can do it another time. And they said, no, let's go. We'll make it a nice day for you. So that was special for me, and they got me to sit in the middle. They took photos with me, and they treated me. They bought the coffee and the cakes. So nobody has done that for me for my birthday. So it was nice for me to have that experience and to have a birthday that was about me and to have that for the first time in Canada. Because even when I have parties and I invite people, they make it about my mother, or they make it about my sister, or they make it about somebody else, and I'm the one left to do all the serving, all the cooking, make it special for them, and then they leave. So it was nice to have that yesterday. And I also saw Joanna from our church. I had gone out to the store to buy a little square. I don't buy a full cake, but I didn't have time to bake because I have so much going on. So I bought a little carrot cake for myself to have with my tea. And I did a lot of training yesterday with HRPA and then with the faith-driven investors. And I had some other work to do. By the time you do the rosary, if you do the Mass and the rosary together, the Mass is maybe half an hour to an hour. Then you do the rosary. That's a good chunk of your day. So I'm grateful that I had a nice birthday and for all the messages that I got from everybody. And as soon as the sun came out, I went for a walk because it was raining literally the whole day. And the other day, the water was coming down like sheets. I think it was Monday. It was just coming down in sheets. It's good to have the rain because we have a drought in Canada. Our dam levels are low. So it's nice to have the rain at this time of the year. And for the scriptures for today, for the gospel, it's basically Jesus asking his followers, who do you say that I am? And I think that's important, even like with the people in our church, the people that we work with. When we ask them, who do you say that I am? The response that they give to us. And we can reflect on that for ourselves. Who is Jesus for us? Who is Jesus for us on our journey? Who is Jesus for us when we are praying, when we are accompanying others? It's an important question. And also, why did Jesus tell the ones who recognized him, the evil spirits, the unclean spirits, not to say anything, not to tell people? It's a good question to ask because that is there in the scriptures. And you see the evil spirits always saying, what do you want with us? You are the Holy Son of God. What do you want with us? So it's a theme that comes up in the scriptures. So it's good to reflect on those things. Who is Jesus for us and who are we for others? Who do others say we are? Because if people don't know us as Christians, as Catholics, as people who put the gospel central to our lives, who put our church central to our lives, then what are we here for? Because we're not here then to know God, to love God, to serve God, and to serve others, and to deepen our faith so that when we return to God from this life, we can be with God. We're not here for that. I see the vocations are going down in Zimbabwe. I read an article on that for priesthood. We always pray in our church for vocations to the priesthood. So I'll pray for Zimbabwe as well. And I think it's important that we do that. We pray for the intentions of our Pope. So for this year, for the remaining of this year, the Pope's intentions are also the intentions that Pope Francis left us. And so we'll continue to pray for those and our own intentions for peace in our world And for Canada, we do pray for Canada, because after all, this is where we're living. This is our home. So we pray for Canada. And they're important pieces of the prayer life: prayers of petition, prayers of thanksgiving, prayers of praise. And if you think of how people lived in Jesus's time, they lived under cruelty. They lived under Roman law. They loved seeing their people crucified, sometimes even on the sides of the roads, on trees. The Romans would crucify them for the smallest of things. And they still kept their faith in the Lord. They still believed. They kept their festivals. They kept their customs. They kept their traditions. And they trusted in God for His love, for His healing, for His mercy. And that's the kind of faith that I want people to have in their lives, because on this journey of life, we get tossed all over. The cruelty of this world doesn't leave anybody untouched. And sometimes people choose it deliberately. Other times people are put into the middle of it. But the cruelty of life affects everybody at different stages, in different ways. Some people have it a little easier than others, but for most people, there's no escaping it. And that suffering, we can either allow it to draw us closer to the Lord and into our communities, or we can allow it to make us a recluse, to make us people who are only focused on our own life, our own hurt, our own problems, and not focused on using our gifts and talents and building up our communities, and not remembering who Jesus is for us, and not remembering why He came for us. Because He doesn't want us to be in hell when we die. He doesn't want us to spend eternity in damnation. But it's up to us. We can make that choice for ourselves of what we want to do. Because it's an easy choice. You can choose. You can either choose to belong to a cult, or you can choose to belong to a mainstream church. We all have choices to make in life. And so for me, this is a new birthday year. I'm hoping it's going to be a good year, a year of financial stability, a year of new opportunities, a year of things falling into place for me, and good health. And I hope the next time I go to my doctor, he's not going to tell me that, oh, your body's still functioning like a 92-year-old. Hopefully he'll say your body's functioning at the levels it should be now, in your 50s, not like a 92-year-old. So that's my prayer, and that's my hope for this year. And I'm grateful to everybody that sent messages, that wished me, that's praying for me. The prayer is also very important for me. And including our priests at the parish, they do pray for me, and they do know me. They know that I'm a spiritual director, and that I am looking for work in the church, in chaplaincy, in support roles, and that I am open to different opportunities. So let's see what the year brings. And I don't believe in small dreams. I don't believe in small things. I believe doing small things with great love, but I believe in God having bigger plans for me than I could ever imagine. And that's why I like the Carmelite sisters. I like Saint Teresa of Lisieux, because sometimes people put children down and they say, these children, it's just a child. But we have saints who were children. And so we can follow their example, and we can follow their faith. And that's what I incorporate into my life on a daily basis. I pray the prayers of the Carmelites. I pray with Saint Teresa of Lisieux, Saint Anthony of Padua. I say those prayers with faith. And I pray for all the organizations that I've been a benefactor to, the Trinitarians, the Marians, the EWTN, Media Missionaries, Blessed Sacrament, St. Jude. There's many of them. I can't remember them all, but I'm a benefactor to many of them, and I do it on poverty wages. I do it on low wages. I do it on not having an income. So if I had a better income, I could do much more, not only for myself in terms of having my own place, my own property where I could set up retreats and have small groups and do the work I want to do, because this is somebody else's. I looked after my property very well. Even when I sold my place, Paul was impressed. He said, "You looked after your place very well. I've seen other units and I've seen other homes and properties, and people don't look after their places." So I looked after my place very well there, just like I look after my landlord's place here. But I'd like to have something of my own. And the only way I'll be able to do that is if I get into a job paying me what I'm worth, and being able to get those grants, those subsidies, the things that are going to help me to get to that place. Because I don't want to take money from my relatives for a down payment for my house or my home. I don't want to take it from my mother. I don't want it from other people. I want to do it on my own and to be able to come up in life that way. The same way I did my master's and my studies, and I worked and studied. I want to have that option to do it for myself. And of course, the possibility of going back to Zimbabwe is always there for me. I don't mind. I mean, people who come here, they want to come and stay here. But for me, I've been living like this since 2007. And you can't survive on an income of $0 a year. You can't survive on people keeping on telling you that, "Oh, no, we can't give you a loan because your debt ratio is high." So how am I supposed to build a business or build a ministry or do anything if people are not willing to lend me the money? So that's why I'm very open to going back to Zimbabwe or going to another place wherever there's work for me. Maybe Switzerland, because Switzerland's also going through very tough times because of the banks and Credit Suisse and the corruption. So maybe Switzerland would be a good place to go to use my skills and talents. Because here I do apply for work. And like I was saying yesterday, LinkedIn said you've applied for the maximum number of jobs you can today. So it's not like I'm not trying to get work. I am doing everything I can. And at the end of the day, things are nice to have, they're good to have. But I'm not somebody who upgrades my phone every year, my computer every year, buys new things every year. I use what I have and I make the most of it. And then when things are completely worn down, then I replace them. But I take care of myself. I take care of my mind, my body, my spirit. And if the Jewish people could do it under those extreme circumstances and extreme hardship, then I'm encouraged that I can also keep my faith, and I can also keep my hope and keep my love for the Lord, because it's not anybody else's journey, it's my journey. And it's not to say that I'm boasting about all the organizations I've helped in Canada, in America, in Africa, but it's to say that if you want to be like me, if you want to have a successful life, you have to also care about the people around you. You have to care about those who they have the properties, they have the means, they have the institutions to set themselves up, to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked, to house the homeless. They have all that. So whether I give $5 or $2, I'm still contributing, I'm still helping, because I don't have that. And what I want to do is small in comparison to them, but it's still important work. It's still ministry work. And when they train you to be a spiritual director, they don't, like when you apply for the jobs in the hospitals and all that, they won't even consider you. So what exactly do they expect us to do? Because we've spent years and years and years of our lives training and educating ourselves, upgrading our skills, and we are doing everything we can to get an income coming in. So the only option is to go out and to work in the churches, to work in organizations, in corporations, and to try to be those agents of change that help to bring about good values and to transform leadership so that we don't land up with economies that are imploding like Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is starting to lead in many, many areas, in care for the wetlands, in education, in many areas. And so I'm hopeful that it will stay that way. And I don't have any problem to go back. I don't have any problems. So, when I came here, when they wanted to deport me from England, I didn't want to be deported. I was prepared to go back rather than be deported and be humiliated by the British. They humiliated me enough as a child, telling me I can't sit in Wimpy, I can't go to the movies on the same day, I can't sit with the children at the restaurants, I can't do anything that the white children are doing because I'm subservient. I'm not normal, I'm abnormal, I'm delusional to think that I can do what the white children are doing. And that's the same message that Canada sent me. So I did it anyway, and I proved them wrong, but they're still carrying on saying that I'm the problem. So you can't change people who don't want to see the truth. But I know that Jesus is at the heart of my life, and even with my music, that Elvis music is at the heart of what I do. I don't listen to anybody else. I don't even turn the radio on. I only listen to his music. And that's just the way it is now. That's how I am.